Hi, guys. Welcome back to Blended the Podcast. I'm Destiny.
I'm Sierra.
We are going to do something a little new and fun. We are going to do a podcast on Q&A. So different questions that you guys have asked us. So we won't just have one topic. We'll kind of cover a bunch of different things that you guys want to know.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so our first question that we got is, I wanted to ask you, when you moved Sweets to your new location, was it far from your last location? I'm in need for a bigger space, but I'm worried if I go too far, some of my clients won't follow me. But I also think if I go to a nicer area, that's more likely where my ideal clients live. So it could be a win-win.
She's onto something.
Yeah. So here's kind of my view on it. I mean, I very, very valid concerns. I mean,
100%.
I've definitely had, first of all, I have been everywhere. I get around.
You get around.
I think every time I moved, like those were definitely things that bothered me. But, and this is kind of what I've told her, like at the end of the day, how you feel about your move and how you present the stress around your move is how your clients are going to react. If you're like super apologetic about your move and like, I'm so sorry, guys, I know this is inconvenient, or
then
please
like,
let me know if like this isn't going to work for you. That's how they're going to react.
Yeah.
So something I've always done, like, especially when I moved to the beach, I feel like that one was like a really big jump because in Jacksonville, going to the beach and like leaving the beach for some reason is this big thing. Like,
it's because of the intercoastal.
Yeah. It's just like, I don't know what it is.
They
People
don't
just
want to cross the intercoastal.
Yeah. You got to explain to them like why you moving is beneficial for them.
Yeah.
That's the thing. At the end of the day, everything we do is for our clients. So I'm like, I'm so excited. I'm moving to a bigger location. I'm going to be able to have more privacy for you guys. We're in a beautiful building. Just highlighting on the positives of it instead of
the negatives.
Focusing on the negatives. And as long as you're giving value and presenting your business a certain way, people will follow you. And I told her this, I have 2 clients that fly in to see me. I've got 2 clients who drive. I have a client who drives from Tampa. I have a client who drives from Orlando. I have clients who come from Palm Coast, St. Augustine, who come from Yulee. Like, I have a lot of clients who drive to me because of the value that I give to them.
Yeah.
Even if you're confident, you still might lose clients, but you have to know like you served them for that time.
Yeah.
And now it's time for something else.
Yeah. Like if your ultimate goal isn't to be there anymore, then you also need to evaluate your opportunity cost of like building more where you're at when ultimately that's not where you want to be.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, if you're going to make the move, girl, you're going to make the move at some point. So it's like,
especially if you're trying to move to like a nicer location, the opportunities that you have to reach those people around there. I think I struggle with giving too much advice on location as well, because I've never attracted someone from
location.
Like
I get a lot of clients right now. I'm located in Riverside, and I get a lot of clients that are just in the neighborhood. They're on their walk, they're walking their dog, they see my sign, they look me up, or like they're Googling businesses near me, and then they come to me for that. But they also tell me that the reason that they end up booking me is because of all of my Google reviews, how I act on Instagram.
But their initial
introduction to me is a lot of it is like near me, or it's like Instagram, but that's from everywhere. But I have clients that come to me from the beach, and like, if you know Jacksonville, all the lash artists are at the beach.
Yeah.
Like they are thick out there, and they will drive past all of them to get to me. Yeah. So it's, again, the value that you're giving and things like that. And even with this new move that I'm about to make, I've talked to clients about it, and I'm just we're both very transparent with our clients. Like, I'm like, this is what I'm thinking about doing. We girl talk all the time. I share my life. They share their lives. And I was like, oh, okay, I think I'm going to go to San Marco. All of them are like, oh, okay. Well, that's not far. I can easily do that. Like, that's nothing. And it's not. It's like a 10-minute drive maybe. Yeah. But then they've even said, if you did go far, I would follow you. Like, I don't care where you go. Don't leave me. Like, they panic.
I think it also, when you're making choices to move, it also depends on your services. Like, you see people like every 2 to 3 weeks.
So they need to be able to come to you.
Right. It's a little bit different. Like, I see people every 8 weeks.
Yeah.
So it's like every 2 months.
They can plan that out.
Right. And so I think that definitely makes a difference as well. Whatever decision you make, just be prepared, be confident in it, and make the decision for you and not because you think that that's what you should do or what your clients want, you know? Yeah. So our next question is, what is the best way to build your books out of school and get rebookings and more social media followings from your target audience / clients in area?
I would say start posting now while you're in school. Take all the content you can about what you want to focus on. And like, because in school, you're not really able to focus on anything specific, but whatever you have the passion for. So for example, when I was in school, I just had a natural knack for like blowouts and lived in color and like blondings. Like I was doing double process blondes in cosmetology school all the time. And I loved it. And I loved doing styled bridal hair and stuff. And I would post it. If you have a Debbie head, post your Debbie head. Like you will get people. Look, there is so much crap on Pinterest of bridal styles on Debbie heads.
Yeah.
People will book you if they think if the work is good, the work is good.
Yeah.
And like if you're putting out things that you like to do, then that's what you're going to receive.
Yeah.
So I would say just start building now.
Yeah.
Honestly, start posting now.
And
tag your area that you think you want to work in. I would say choose an area that you want to go be a part of. So like when I first was in school, I was like, I want to work at the beach. I want to be at the top salon at the beach. And I knew that. So when you're posting, don't tag your school or wherever you're located, tag that area because that's how you're going to get to those clients. That's how they're going to see you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
By posting online while you're in school, when you do start taking clients, you've already got content on your Instagram. If you're focusing on your Instagram to build your clients, if someone new comes onto your page and like you haven't posted anything, like you have no portfolio for them to look at.
Yeah. And that's even great for landing jobs outside of school.
And it is so important to niche down and focus on what do I want to specialize in?
Yeah.
And only post what you want to specialize in.
Yeah.
Even if you're doing other hair, especially when you're first building your books. Like if I want to specialize in lived in blondes, but I had someone come in that wanted a purple gloss, like I'll still do that, but I'm not going to post it.
And I think when you're in school, that's like a struggle because you want to take a photo of everything you do.
Right.
Because it's so exciting because you've never done it before. But like if you hate something, do not post it. I hated perms. I'm not going to lie. I never did a real perm in beauty school on my Debbie head.
Neither did I.
Okay, cool. I like wrapped it. And then you know the one time where you take it off and it pops your fingers? I was like, nope. Immediately nope.
I would like shove the Debbie in my locker.
Yes, and then re-wet it down, bitch. Yes. And I was like, I hate this.
We would like pass it around to each other. Like, okay, or you go to like 2 different educators, like you'll get signed off from this.
Check this off. Yeah. Like there's like things that we do in the industry. If you love doing perms, post your perms.
Yeah.
You'll get perm clients. Yeah.
Also getting quality photos. Like, especially in the beginning, if let's say a service takes you 3 hours, book it for 3.5 so that you have time. Go outside, get good lighting.
Yes.
Even I would have different almost like props. Like I would have a jean jacket where like I could put a jean jacket on my client. So it looked like different and maybe like change up the curls a little bit just to get different content to post and just make sure you're getting quality photos. Yeah. And that can be on your iPhone. You don't have to use I've never used, me personally, I know some stylists do use like cameras. I've always used my iPhone, but just making sure like the camera lens is cleaned, like there aren't flyaways, the lighting is good. It's a direct reflection of what the hair actually looks like.
Yes.
And making sure that that's what you're posting. I know some people go back and forth about like your feed not having to be aesthetically pleasing. And while I don't think it's as intense as what it used to be, I do still think it's important for when someone looks on your page for it to be cohesive and clean. Yeah. And when they go on there, they should know, okay, this girl does blondes, this girl does brunettes, this girl likes doing beach curls or whatever. Like it should still be clean and cohesive. And as far as rebookings go, something I always encourage, do not let your clients leave without booking. Like don't make it an option for them.
Yeah. If you're trying to build your book, like, and you want to get there faster, 100% do not let them leave without rebooking. If you are not even booked out fully, girl, speak that stuff into existence. Be like, listen, I book out every 4 weeks.
Yeah.
There's already people booking. If you want to get the slot that you want, I recommend booking right now. And then if you feel like there's hesitation from them, what did I used to say? I used to be like, oh, well, we can always like reschedule it. Like, don't feel locked into this day.
Yeah.
Specifically, if you need to move it, just call and let me know.
Yeah.
Something like that. But
even that,
I do need to get better at booking people when they're in the studio.
Well, because people go home and they forget. Some people say like don't rebook or don't pre-book because like it's a false guarantee of clients. Me personally, I have always like when they leave the chair, I'm rebooking them for multiple reasons. Number one, when they go home, they forget, especially hair, like lashes.
Yeah, with hair,
like you see your eyes and you're like, oh crap, I need to get in. But people will go without.
Girl, I went a year without a haircut.
Yeah, exactly. Right. And because of life
in the industry. Like.
And just educating, like I think a lot, like with me, I did a lot of lived in color in the beginning. Mm-hmm. And so it was like, hey, like, you know, your gloss only lasts you 8 weeks. So let's go ahead and let's schedule you for 8 weeks and let's do a gloss. We don't have to add any more highlights in there, but it's just educating them why they need to book. Why do you need to book this appointment with me? And just making that this is what you need to do.
And I do that at the end because I have the online booking. I still will take the time at the end of every single appointment and walk through like, okay, this is online booking. This is how you use it. It's super simple, but you need to get on this week to get your appointment on the books for the next week or two. And then if you see that they haven't come in yet, like say you haven't taken these steps and you're sitting here and you're like, oh my gosh, oh no, what do I do? Reach out to them.
Yeah.
Give them a call, text them.
Hey, haven't seen you in a while.
Yeah. Like, just want to get you on the book.
Or offer them, you know what, something we used to do that just reminded me when I was working commission in a salon, something my boss would have us do is for a new client, you would offer them a blowout the next week. Like, hey, I want to come in, do a free blowout. Just make sure you're still loving your hair. If we need to tweak anything. And you're just building that relationship with them when it's their first time coming to you, especially if it's someone who didn't find you from Instagram where they already know you. You've kind of already made that connection.
Yeah.
That was something that I used to do when my books weren't filled because it just kept me busy. Like, you know, that's also
and that's another opportunity for better content.
Yeah. Okay. So this one is, how do I create an effective pricing strategy for my services? I feel like this one is a great question, but it's also very tricky. And I think that
that's
at least for me,
question.
Yes, I will give a general. Pricing is like a whole nother thing. I honestly don't think we could ever even really do pricing as an episode because it's personal. It's so personal. But some things I can say about pricing is, number one, don't base your pricing off the people around you. Base your pricing off of the value that you're giving.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think you should be looking and being like, oh, well, this person is charging this much. So
you also need to look at your expenses so that you don't dig yourself into a hole where like the girl down the street is charging $50, but her rent could be a quarter of your rent, you know?
Yeah.
And you can't afford to do that. You're not going to make a profit.
I also think it depends on your ideal client. And like in the beginning of my career, I was young. So like my ideal clients were like in college or like just recently graduated. So I wasn't going to charge $500 for a balayage.
Because that's not who you're going to get.
Now my clients are like late 30s, early 50s with successful careers. And so my prices are going to be a little bit more because that's who I'm trying to attract. So I think it's important to know like who your ideal client is.
Base your pricing off of that.
What skills do you have? What value do you have? Like, are you an expert at this? I also don't think you should like come out of hair school and just like
charge $300.
Yeah. Because you're going to mess up on people during that time.
Yeah.
So
and then
I think that's a lot more complex. A more complex question and something that you should work with a business coach for. If you need one. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, I think it's definitely, I also think just from what I've learned is in growing a business in general, you do want to be aware of the market you're in. So I always say, I do look at people's prices around me, but I would just look at the pricing around you because it is very smart to understand the market and look at the skill set of those artists and what they're charging. But not everybody bases their pricing on their expenses and everything like that. So they might be doing that. Like if you see someone is $110, right, for like a full set, don't make your price $110 just because their price is $110.
Or make it $90 because you're like, I'm gonna get more.
Or like come in under, which is a very, very common practice in business. It's like everybody tries to go cheaper and cheaper and lower and like cut out somebody else. But at the same time, that hurts everyone in the industry.
Keeping emotions out of your pricing.
Yeah. Like 100%.
Yeah. Okay. So what are some networking opportunities within the beauty industry?
I would say you can, honestly, a really good networking opportunity that I got was doing styled shoots, especially if you're starting out. Doing styled shoots, you'll meet photographers, videographers, event coordinators, other people within the industry, things like that. I think styled shoots are great for networking. I also think there's like support groups you can join. Blended, obviously, selfless plug.
Duh. Even with Instagram, like collaborating, Instagram even has a thing now. Like I put it on our Instagram where it's like, I'm open to collaborating. Like it's like a thing that pops up.
Or like DM the people around
reaching out to people. Like I think Instagram is a great way to collaborate or to network with people, not just within your city, but
everywhere
throughout as well. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had a question.
And it's important too.
About... I can't find her exact question, but like she's been on my mind and I want to take this time to like actually answer it. Basically, she DM'd me and asked how I found a storefront because she wants to expand. Basically, if you're trying to find a storefront and you're stressing and it's hard for you, because I know that we've spoken personally about like looking for space and it being difficult. You guys, I just found this huge space because I hired a realtor and it was life-changing because that realtor is going to go in for you and go hard. Just make sure that you stick to exactly what you want and your price point and you don't really bend because you can start to kind of feel pressured from other people. And if you're not at the point where you want to hire a realtor yet, then I mean, just like hit the ground and start looking.
Yeah.
And make phone calls and send out emails. And like, that's really all there is to it. Like,
I think it depends too on what does finding a storefront mean for you. Because I know from like personal experience, when you're looking for a small space, realtors don't want to work with you because they're making money off of
the amount
your sale.
So like if you're looking for like one little room, most of the time a realtor is not going to work with you off the bat. I worked with a realtor because this space that I got is over 1,200 square feet.
You gotta be
and
like
I'm at that point now. But
feet.
If you're looking for a space that's smaller than 800 square feet, I would say honestly, it's just like a lot of hitting the pavement and really researching. Like go on Facebook Marketplace, go on
Craigslist.
Destiny's a lot more brave than me. So like I'm afraid of Craigslist.
Well, the thing is a lot of businesses who are owned by a person, not a company.
And that's going to be where you find a lot of the better prices. And once you get into corporate level contracts and lawyers and things like that, the cost can get really, really up there. So just keep that in mind when you're looking for a storefront. I would look at your budget and see where you're at and make sure that getting a storefront is in your budget and what you actually want to do. You have to have a salon license on top of your cosmetology license. Right. You now need to carry insurance for your space. You need to have all these other ducks in a row. So do that research before you even hit the pavement and start looking, I would say. And then if you guys have more questions about it, we can touch on it. But it is like definitely more like further down your career topic. But if you guys are interested, let us know.
Okay, so this is going to be our last question. How do I strike a balance between staying true to my artistic vision and meeting client expectations?
Manage the expectations.
If you feel like you're having to change who you are, like those aren't your ideal clients.
Yeah, but also like, I mean, there's people who will come in and you don't have control over it. And they're going to be like, give me this. And you don't really like that. Or you know that what they're asking for is unrealistic. And I've learned the hard way that you just straight up need to be like, it's not going to happen.
Yeah.
Like just be honest.
Yeah. Like, so I have a client who I don't do fashion colors at all. And she loves having like a purple extension in her hair. And so whenever I did her, like a peekaboo. So whenever I did my consultation with her, I was like, listen, I'm totally fine dyeing a piece of your hair purple, but I'm going to be super honest with you. Like that is not my specialty.
Also,
so like if you tell me, well, I just like use purple dye on it.
Okay.
So I'm like, if you give me a specific purple to do, I'm not going to be able to do that for you. But if, you know, not Like, it has to be this color. Or I was like, or if you want someone else to dye the hair, like the purple piece, and bring it to me, like, I'm totally fine with that too. Mm-hmm. So I think just like communicating and staying open. I have another situation where one of my clients wants me to dye her hair red. And she was like, so I really want to do this, but I know you don't like to do that. Mm-hmm. And so we just, again, we had that conversation like.
But she only knew that because you're open.
Right. And that's the thing. And because I'm open and because they trust me, they're fine with me doing things that I may not be comfortable doing. Mm-hmm. But I also feel comfortable doing it because I know these clients trust me, if that makes sense. Like if a new person, like a random person came in and was like, I want to be super, super red, I'd be like, heck no. Mm-hmm. But like this client has been my client for like over a year.
Yeah, so you're willing to.
Yeah, it's a different, and what she wants isn't super crazy. It's literally just like an all over red.
Yeah, I think like meeting in the middle is always something that I try to do, like be realistic and communicate the expectations and the outcome completely.
And especially because in the beginning, you're going to be doing a lot.
Doing that, feeling pressured to like make something happen. Or even like I've had situations where clients have been like, I want this length and this, and this, and this, and like been very like structured and detailed on exactly what they want. And I've bent to them and been like, oh, okay, well, we can do that. But knowing in my head, like, it's not going to look like what I need to do to make it look like that. Yeah. And then I'm like, well, it'll look close, but it's not going to look exactly. Right.
I've had someone come in with a YouTube video before.
Interesting. I have too, actually. I've had someone come in with like an Instagram reel of like this hairstyle. No. And I'm like, you don't have the same hair.
Right.
But you just genuinely like manage expectations from the start, I would say.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And stick to who you are for sure. And here's the thing too, like if you are at a point where you're just now starting out in your career, maybe you just graduated or you're rebuilding your clientele and the people in your chair aren't really your ideal client and you can't really show your artistic creativity, bring in some models. Like even if you charge them for just the color, like bring in some models so that way you get your artistic fix with that, your inspiration, and then that way you can start posting it. And then eventually you'll be able to wean out those people who aren't allowing you to be your true artistic self.
Yeah.
Like if you're someone who loves fashion colors, like there are artists out there who that's all they do. And people come from all over the place to see them because that's something so niched and so specific. Or if you do extensions, people are going to come from all over. If you do wispy lashes, don't be afraid to like niche down to something so specific just because who you have right now is not what you want.
And you'll be able to show up more in your own business to grow when you actually enjoy what you're doing.
Yeah. Cool. Well, we're going to wrap it up for today. Continue to send all of your questions to us. And then if you guys liked this, like we're totally down to do more of these in the future. So again, we can kind of answer your specific questions and not just what we think you guys would hear.
We honestly really want to know what you want to hear.
And I think all these questions too can all lead to actual episodes where we go even deeper into
And if you want that, let us know.
Awesome.
Okay. Bye.
Thanks for being our blended babes,
aka BBs. Join the conversation and let your voice be heard.
If you're ready for a revolution, don't forget to leave us a review wherever you're listening and follow the journey on Instagram at blended_podcast.
Share this episode with your BB who is ready to beautify the beauty industry and rewrite the standards.
Get all the tea from this episode and more in the show notes.
Bye.